off some of the budget. Some of this is, you know, with gas, we cut it a tad, but, you know, I don't know, it just depends on where gas is. So, I mean, that's something that is kind of hard to deal with, but we did cut that a little bit based off of what we used this year. We had one thing that was contracted services that we caught that we've been using, but for some reason, I guess because it's paid towards the end of the budget, like I think it's due right now, it was left out. So we just added that in there, which increased that line item by 13,000. But other than that, I mean, we had there's no employee increase because, as far as I know, there's no cost of living raises being given. So none of that really changed. So I'm pretty much not doing anything. I'm just letting Rebecca kind of guide me and trying to work with her closely and trim as much as what we can and without going too far.
Okay. So what'd you say it went up, 90?
It went up 91,000.
So you trimmed
So
11,000
so
actually.
The insurance went up 102,000.
102, so you trimmed 11,000 and the insurance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so you said how much, 111 or 102?
102, 400.
Yeah, that's right, 102, 400. Now, you have overtime, right? I mean, there was.
Yes, we cut,
It got cut to 0, but I think that was an
yeah,
accident.
no, it
So we
it
put
got
that
corrected.
back.
So
Okay.
we usually do pretty good with overtime.
Right.
We only use it when we have to. Like right now, we're having to use some of it because we just had an officer have a heart attack. He's going to be out for a little bit. And then we're short one on that shift already. So that's 2 down on that shift. So I'm allowing some of them to work to kind of help offset those. So we'll have some overtime there. The only other time it's used is if we have you know, weather-related stuff or,
Right.
you know, a bad call or something that we have to get more people out on. But other than that, we try to keep that down to a minimum. So it was at 40,000, and I think we've got it at 20. Where was that? Well, oh yeah, we knocked it down to 23,000.
Okay. Can you check it on that, Rebecca? I mean, we're
Yeah,
double checking
the
everything
updated
right
copy.
now
I
while
had the
we're
wrong
doing.
copy, but I've got
'Cause-
the updated copy now.
Right. So your current year's budget's $3,037,300. Then I'm seeing the current proposed budget's $3,109,000, but of that, 102,000 is insurance. And so, but now you also had an increase in revenues. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
No.
yeah.
keep
So
up with all
that went
that,
up
so.
16,600. So that's good. Are you showing the increase 91,000? That's what I've got.
Yeah, 91.
About
91.
3%.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Pullen, you got any questions? All right. All right.
All right, I'm
Anything
Chad.
else?
I recently inherited the budget for the jail.
All right. So
I have been
we
in
go
works
back a
with it
couple of
as far
pages.
as that goes with Don and Rebecca over the last few months, so I am aware of what it is. We weren't as fortunate. Our group insurance went up $145,800. And somehow we managed to, Don and Rebecca told us to tighten it up, so somehow we only managed to end up with $119,500 increase, so if you look at the comparison there between last year's budget and this year's budget, there's a whole lot of minuses on the right column there because, we're trying to save everywhere we can, and unfortunately an environment where everything is more expensive. Like Don touched on a minute ago, Southern Health Partners, who provides the medical care for everybody in the jail, it's something that we are required to offer them. It's not an elected thing. That's something that we have to, by law, offer them. They went up at literally the last minute. They notified me 2 weeks ago that they were going up on our rate, so it didn't give me a whole lot of time to prepare for that. But that price increase is reflected in the budget already. Right, Rebecca? Yeah, it is reflected in the budget. So, even though our group insurance is almost $150,000, our increase is only $119,000. So,
Right.
and our increase in expected revenue wasn't, nearly as high as Tommy's, but, it did go up, expected $10,000, because we do expect that the state is going to start housing more inmates with us as opposed to, sending them off to prison, which generates an income inside the jail. Other than that, other than trying to trim as much as we can and, the increase overall, like, you want to talk specifically with uniforms, they had a very large increase in uniforms, the uniform companies did, and we are very diligent in price shopping and everything to try to find the cheapest that we can find, but also something that our guys can wear and we're not having to replace every month. So there was a little increase we asked for in the, uniform budget because, having that many employees that work 7 days straight, it's hard to outfit them with 2 pair of pants and 2 shirts because they wear them out so fast. But, other than that, that's, other than trimming it out, that's pretty much what we're at. I know that Tommy and I are probably 2 of the largest budgets in the county.
Yeah.
But we work off of guessing because we don't know how many inmates we're gonna have, we don't know how many calls we're gonna have, we don't know all that stuff, but, we're usually pretty good with it as far as, and Rebecca's really good with it. But that's pretty much it for me, unless y'all got any questions.
So your current budget's $1,966,100. It did go to $2,085,600, which is a $119,500 increase. That's 6%, but again, 1%, I see a cut in overtime, is that correct? Mm-hmm. You're okay with that?
Yeah, well,
That's $31,000, that's pretty big
overtime's
hit.
something that we just, we don't know, because if we have something catastrophic, like somebody, throw themselves off the top rails or something like they did last year, overtime's gonna be outrageous again, it's not something that we know. Because we don't have part-time jailers that can come in and work whenever a jailer calls out, or we have to pay them overtime. The only part-time we have is one, admin assistant that comes in and does stuff, but as far as jailers know, so. We're okay with cutting it, but, it may, we'll just have to see how that works.
So insurance is up 146,000 basically.
Yeah, 145.
So that makes up 100% of the increase, actually, a little more. Contracted services was up 7,000, but you explained that. Electricity's down, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a dad, Don. I'm one of those guys that walks around turning off lights.
You turning off lights?
Yeah, I'm a dad.
Well, also, we changed out light bulbs to LED, and I think that did help.
Yeah, going to LED definitely made a difference.
It really did. Because we feel like we, just like everybody at home, had a power increase last year, the rate increase, but yet ours still did go down overall, so thankful for that. And inmate medical now is up to, it's $50,000, so just in case anyone at home didn't realize it, we have to provide medical services for inmates. Now, if we house an inmate from another county, they are responsible for paying that, right?
Yeah, correct.
That's still the case, okay.
And that line item says inmate medication, and I'm not sure why it says that on this, but, it's not necessarily just for medication. That is for inmate medical in and of itself. Medication does come out of that, but, what Southern Health Partners does is they provide everyday doctor visits, and, if somebody wants a doctor's call, then they see the doctor most of the time in person, but sometimes via telehealth. What that is for is, say, we have to take somebody to the hospital, or somebody has to have an ER visit, it has to come out of that. And, there's a lot of tugging, pulling, fighting when it comes to stuff like that, but with the hospitals usually, they're required by law to give us the cheaper rate, but they usually do that, and we have to get it worked out with them. They don't start like that, they treat us like they do everybody else. They charge us the most that they possibly can, but we end up negotiating it with them and get it down to something a little more reasonable. But that's where that comes out of, is that what's called inmate medication.
And so between the sheriff's office and the jail, that is 30% of our budget. That's a big chunk, right? It's $5.1 million, so. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have any questions?
I got one.
Okay.
And then you might, so you got water, natural gas, and electricity, propane, then you drop down, you got water, natural gas, and electricity. Is it 2 separate buildings? What do we got there?
Yeah, we break it out. We get one bill.
But it's,
We break it out in here.
that's more for letting the people know that we're not.
Yeah, that's part of it goes to sheriff's office, part of sheriff's office operation, and then part of it goes to the jail, because the jail's 24/7. They're gonna spend more than anybody in Dade County because their power's on.
I just know if somebody at home's looking at this and they come down and say, well, you dropped your power bill $4,400, and then you go down, scroll down, well, they increased it half back up if they didn't understand that part.
Yeah, right. Also, Tommy, go ahead, Tommy. Looks like you're gonna say something.
Yeah, well, go ahead, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, the Community Watch Program falls under you, and so that's not a whole lot of money, to be honest with you. I mean, but it did go,
It should be, what do we have?
What is it, 22?
2,500 for each one of them, and we only got two?
it's like $4,000 countywide or something. That's not much. And most of that is for fuel. We do help with fuel. Some of the communities actually raise money and buy their own fuel, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all have a community program where you teach people, and then if they want to serve in the community, mostly retired folks, but
Yeah, I was gonna say,
can be
like,
anybody.
They just started one, so one of the cars we pulled off, we just donated,
Yep.
we're letting them use it, and then of course, new sirens is the only other one that we've had, and it's been around for years.
And they make a difference, you know, I mean, it just the optics of seeing that car that looks like a police car driving around is, it makes a difference.
Sure. Dr. Pullen, you have any questions? Okay.
That, animal control, I think's on me, but
Oh,
it's on
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
separate budget.
Right. Yeah,
The only thing I have on that's an employee,
yeah, that's right.
as far as I know. I don't know if y'all have anything for that this year or not.
Let me look if I can
What
find
would
it.
that number be, Rebecca?
The total budget?
No, like the 3420 or,
It should be under, yeah,
It's 3910.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, it is up, looks like, it was 82,300 this year, it's 92,900. We do have a full-time officer who serves as animal control. We're in the early stages of animal control, I mean, county-wise. The city's had that for many years. But right now, you know, there is a building established, but there's no interior to the building. So there's no operations happening as far as that. So he also serves currently as a deputy, therefore he can go out and serve papers, do whatever. I mean, you want to elaborate on that?
So, yeah, so basically, when he's not doing animal control stuff, he's answering calls, serving civil papers, just wherever we need to use him at. We just try to not put him on a situation where if he needs to leave for an animal call, then he can leave. Like I said, the only thing that I know of that's on the animal budget would be just his pay. I pretty much take his uniform, training, all that stuff usually is coming out of the sheriff's office side of the budget still, so I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah, I could.
I just want to try to keep that separate.
Actually, we don't even have, we could put his fuel, but anyway, we haven't
Yeah,
broke
the
that out
fuel
yet.
and all
We
that's
haven't
on the
got that
sheriff's office
specific,
side,
but we
which is
probably
fine,
need
I
to.
don't have a problem with that. It's just,
you said it was 3910?
I'm sorry,
Is that what,
3910.
all right, so what was the budget last year and then
It's
this year?
82,300 currently, I'm sorry, I said 92, it's 175,200, it's up 92,900. And what that is anticipating the payments to the city. We haven't received any repayment request from the city yet, because that's what I'm saying about the interior is not complete, but we are under intergovernmental agreement with them,
So that's the 80,000 payments to others?
yeah.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what it would cost that's what was budgeted. Once it's up and running, we may see that happen, but I don't know when that's gonna be, so I'm not, anyway. All right,
I think that's all for me.
yes, sir.
I think that's all you got.
Thank y'all.
Ma'am.
Okay, with District Attorney's Office, I know y'all are busy too, so we'll, maybe y'all in here. Give us a chance to find your department. What's that department, Rebecca? Yeah.
It's in the two.
Oh, it's 2200.
Yeah, I knew it was 22,000.
Okay, 2200, yeah. All right, introduce yourself and.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Deanna Reisman. I'm the acting district attorney for the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit. So we operate in the 4 counties of the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit, which is Dade, Walker, Catoosa, and Chattooga counties. So the way our budget is kind of structured is all 4 of the counties of the judicial circuit contribute toward our budget, and it's by percentage of the population for the county. So we always break it down and tell Dade County exactly what's in their portion. We've met with Don and Rebecca, and then we also met last Friday with the commissioners of all 4 counties of the judicial circuit where we operate to kind of make sure everybody was on the same page. And I think that was really productive and really helpful. So we've already been in talks about this. And I think we, after that meeting on Friday, we submitted an amended budget proposal to you guys, and I gave a copy of that to Rebecca this morning. I think we had also emailed it. And so the amendment was, we had an unfilled attorney position, and after we talked to all 4 county commissioners, since there wasn't anybody in that position currently, we just removed the funding request for that position. So the increase this year for Dade County is $15,084.
Okay. So we had that increase of 23, right, Rebecca? So now that's, or 23.3. So that's only going to be at 15? Okay.
Yes.
So currently, the total budget is $220,200. It had gone to $248,000, but now it's going to come back down a little bit. So that was a 10.58% increase, so I'm not sure what the new increase will be, but.
I think the new number that we
9,
gave y'all was
8%.
224,700.
Okay.
So I don't know what percent that is.
Okay, I think it's 239, right?
Yes, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
239.
that was last year's. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Is that
So it's a difference of what we have on here, the 243.5 of $3,716 on that one line. So you're looking at the payments to other agencies again.
How much was it again? 3 what?
The total,
The difference.
the difference between that one, $3,716.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll adjust that. Okay. So tell us, I know with the district attorney, you're a state agency, therefore we have to provide you space. We do that at the court facility down here. But you had an increase, but that was issued by the General Assembly and the governor, so.
Yes, so the way our office is structured is we have employees who are state-paid employees, and then we also have employees in the office who are county-paid employees, and that includes attorneys, support staff, and investigators. And so we put all of our higher-paid employees on the state payroll to kind of take some of the burden off the county. So typically it's our newer employees, our employees who aren't funded as much. We put those people on county payroll. But the reason for the increase is the General Assembly sets the pay scale for attorneys in our office and non-attorney support staff members. And we feel an obligation to make sure that everybody's treated equitably within the office. So when that new pay scale was issued by the General Assembly, the increase is to put the county paid people within that new pay scale structure. And so this is, basically the increase is just to pay current employees that are already on payroll. Do not ask for any additional positions.
And you mentioned last Friday the 3 part-time, is that in, are they still in or out? I mean.
They're in, we removed the unfunded position, and kept those 3 part-time, the victim advocate and the 2 administrative support staff members.
Okay.
So we did keep them on and just removed the unfunded, or the unfilled ADA position.
Right, that's right. Okay. And just briefly, I mean, I heard it quite a bit. Andy Allen in Chattooga County has somewhat of a backlog in his opinion, but ours is relatively low. I mean, you want to talk just briefly about that?
Yeah, I mean, y'all's is, we stay very caught up with Dade County. We're actually in court right now. I think we had, I'm trying to count, we had at least, I think we had 4 jury trials here in April. You know, our trial terms here in October and April, so that's when we have the majority of our jury trials. And we have Superior Court here for pleas and probation revocation hearings at least once a month, but we are caught up here in Dade County.
Okay. Any other questions?
I don't have none.
Okay. All right, so I show, well, Rebecca's gone, but the updated total, but about 244.3. And the reason it doesn't match exactly with the other payment to other agencies is because we do pay for the telephone because we own the telephone company. I mean, we own our own little phone company inside of Dade County, therefore we don't have to pay higher rates. And then we bill the circuit and then they pay us back. So they have a little bit of revenue, and that revenue is a 100% offset to the telephone. And then there's just a few of those small things, like water. We just track the electricity and water for your square footage of your office. Not much, $100 and $300. So, one final thing, and that is just for information, the governor will be making an appointment. You want to talk about that just briefly?
Sure. And I don't know exactly when it's going to be, but again, I am the acting district attorney. So when Clay Fuller stepped down to run for Congress, that created a vacancy with the district attorney position. So I have been the acting district attorney since January when he stepped down. I assume at some point, probably in the next weeks or months, the governor is going to make an appointment to fill that position permanently.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming today. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you for the time.
Write this real quick. Anybody else need to come before, if you've got obligations or something? If you want to step up? Those were the two areas, they're in court, so they really kind of need to get back. All right. Stephen Bonico. He's towards the end.
Good morning, my name is Stephen Bonico, I'm the
7110.
county conservationist. My budget's pretty straightforward. I'm a department of one. We manage I manage the farm bill programs for the county, and make sure that we're getting the different hay assistance or other federal benefits that are due to our agricultural producers. That also at times entails, as the county has a partnership with Limestone Valley RCND, which the county is a member of and has been since 1975. So on my revenue section, $15,000 comes from Limestone Valley, which offsets the match requirement which the federal government gives us through the agreement with Georgia Association. GACD. I don't know what the
Conservation.
I know what the acronym means. We always say GACD, Georgia Association of Conservation Districts. And so we receive, on the revenue side, we receive money from GACD. GACD has an agreement with the USDA to provide those services. They contract with the county. And so that's the revenue side. On expenses, it's basically the cost of some of the depot for our office, and then my insurance and income. The other aspect of what I end up managing, I mentioned that partnership with Limestone Valley RCND. We leverage that partnership to bring additional grant funds. So some residents may have been able to benefit from agricultural improvements to their property, similar to what we do with the Farm Bill program, or septic repairs, paving Jenkins Park, parking lot was one of the projects that we did. So, in other counties, conservation department doesn't typically handle that, but with our kind of unique relationship with the RCND Council, we're able to get additional resources brought to our community just because the county is a member of Limestone, and of the 11 counties, I'm the executive director of Limestone and happen to be our conservationist. So we get a little extra benefits than some of the other member counties. So that's it in a nutshell.
Do you have a rough dollar amount, how much you brought into the county for the farmers?
Yeah.
we're currently contracting, I think we got 10 contracts in the last 2 months. Average contract size, just on the farm bill side of things, is between $20,000 and $40,000. You know, so that's the farm bill side of things. On the, so you need me to do that math, or?
No.
You had it. So on the limestone side of things, in that partnership, the last grant we brought in was $350,000 in state and federal funds. You know, we've brought 3 of those in the last 7 years that were all similarly sized. You know, I was working with Kathy Reagan to write a grant where the county is putting forward 2 more funding requests to the state. Lookout Creek is a state priority watershed in what they call the SWAP, the State Wildlife Action Plan. So Lookout Creek not only is our drinking water source, but it also is listed by the state of Georgia as a priority for wildlife based on our diversity and a diversity of wildlife that live in the creek, and just the quality of the water that's in Lookout Creek makes it a priority for the state. So on that side, you know, we've seen over $1 million, $1.5 million in the last 6 to 7 years. We got to put that 2 in there now. Yeah, and then we're pursuing other grants. We've managed rural development grants on behalf of the county through that partnership. You know, those range in value. We currently have an application in. Limestone put the application in because it was geared towards nonprofits, not towards municipalities. So we get to play that middle in our department where there's grants and funding opportunities that get put out by foundations, private entities, the state, the federal government, that are geared towards municipalities, and then there's some that are geared more towards nonprofits. And so with my department having me in the role of both nonprofit manager and municipal, it's kind of the best of a private-public partnership where Limestone's not actually private. It is appointed, you know, it's formerly a federal entity. In 2011 was spun out as an independent nonprofit, but still has all of its board members named by the county commissions throughout 11 counties. So we manage funds for the state of Georgia that are not eligible for other nonprofits because we have a nexus in the federal government and have governance by the county commissions. So all of that said, you wanted it.
Stephen's never short on work.
Yeah, I can give you a dissertation on it.
Yeah, and I think we're.
You got what you need?
I got what I need.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, there's more money we can talk about, but that, you know, we're applying for grants, and rural development has application in right now. So.
Yeah, I mean, so one more grant that you're working on and we've had was the septic tank replacement.
Yes.
Talk about that briefly.
Yeah. So I started to a second ago, and I got off on other things. So the septic tank repair program, that is one of the 2 grants that we are currently applying for. And so Kathy and I put a proposal in. It was due April 30th. The state's considering those over the next several months. We've done that 3 separate times. Basically, the goal behind it is to improve water quality. The reality is landowners who have a problem with their septic get assistance in fixing that. And so typically that's about a 40% cost share. If the average repair is, you know, $5,000, that's a major, you know, Dade out there says the majority of Americans don't have, you know, $1,000 in savings for an unexpected emergency. And so to have a septic issue come up that's $5,000, that really hurts. And so we continue to apply for those state and federal funds to help our landowners who do have failing septic systems repair them, make sure they're right, or in places where there's alternatives to do it better or different. You know, we partner with them to make that happen.
Right. So, and I know on 2 occasions I happened to see somebody in our lobby and they mentioned septic. They were going downstairs to get the septic tank permit. And I said, well, have you thought about the grant? And they're like, what are you talking about? And both were successful in at least 40, if not a little bit more. So I mean,
we
it was a
we
really
try to make
good
sure that
thing.
that's,
40% savings, you know.
Yeah, we try to make sure that information's out there. We have done that both in Lookout Creek, and there's a portion of the county that is in Chattanooga Creek,
Yeah.
which we think of as a Walker County watershed, but West Brow and areas along the top of Lookout Mountain, we've been able to help numerous residents up there as well that just have a problem. I mean, things degrade over time. We live in a fallen world, and getting them fixed is an important part of community health. So we work with the health department on that. But also, nobody wants their yard to be that way.
Yeah, right. So current budget was 77,000, went to 85,200, but of that $8,200 increase, $7,100 of that was group insurance, and then retirement went up. Apparently you went from 0 to retirement,
Yeah,
which is good.
I
You
hadn't
need-
signed up for our retirement program.
you
I've been
should-
here 10 years, and this is the first year where I went,
Yeah,
I might want to retire one day.
yeah,
So,
you should do that, that's
Yeah,
fine. And
so this was the first year in
so-
10 years that I actually signed up for retirement benefits.
Right, so that makes.
I don't plan to retire anytime soon, I should say that,
But that makes up the difference, and plus, you
That's
do
right.
have a revenue again of 31,300. It did go down, but that was just a timing issue when we had 2 grants come in a short amount of time, but typically, it's around 31,300, so you're paying
That's right.
for a large part of
and,
your
and
salary.
has been for 10 years.
Yep, all right. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Let me bring you up to date real quick. Laura Beth Cunningham, I forgot what, she's on the 4-H situation. What?
Doctor's appointment.
What?
Doctor's appointment.
No, I'm sorry. All right. So she had a doctor's appointment, and it was already scheduled. So anyway, she couldn't be here, but that's right below where we were just talking, since we're that close. The revenue in that department, we fixed that. Never mind. Okay. And the expense, let's see, currently they were $84,700. Their actual proposed budget's $84,300, so they actually went down $400. So, and that could possibly go down a little bit more. We've just learned that one of the new lady, I forgot her name, but she may be leaving us.
Allison.
Alice may be leaving, so we just found out yesterday about that. So I guess that's news. Hopefully she's ready to announce that. But anyway, so I don't know. And we found out yesterday also that the state currently has a hiring freeze on 4-H and extension agents. So we don't know when that'll be filled, but all that would do would be some savings. All right. Any questions on that? And if you do, really just get with Laura Beth. She'll be able to help you there. Moving up, library administration, we have Lisa Eubanks here. If you want to come on up, Lisa. And that's just right above soil conservation.
Hello, happy to be here. We've got a very simple budget we're presenting to you this year with no request in the mix this year. So that should make it easy for you guys.
That's right. All right. Well, we appreciate that. So payment currently is right at $115,000. Your current budget's $135,000. It did go to $132,300. So that's a 2% drop. That's $2,700. But what that is what is that? What is that?
Maybe
Rebecca?
electricity?
Library administrator. I can't. It's something at the top that's blurred out. I can't see it. But anyway, it's $2,000 reduction.
That's custodial services.
Custodial service. Okay. Yeah. So we're still going to clean the library. Don't get
Thank you. We
excited.
appreciate all the
Don't
things
get
you
excited. We're
do
just-
on behalf
We're
of
moving.
for us.
It was broken out, but now it's back in our maintenance department.
Okay.
So and the electricity again decreased. Y'all went to LED
We did.
sometime back, so that again shows a little bit of a decrease. We're happy about that. 4.12% went down. So,
Okay.
any questions for Lisa?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
so
We
much.
appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it. All right. Stacy, up here at the bottom, right under extension. just introduce yourself and
All right.
maybe nobody will hit you with a tomato. Code enforcement, you
Tomatoes
know,
are
they love,
fine.
everybody loves code enforcement, right?
Everybody hates code enforcement.
Well,
My name
you
is
said it,
Stacy
not me.
Stevens. I'm over code enforcement for Dade County. And I've looked at the budgets. I got a couple of questions on it. On the electrical and the water, I don't think I'd been paying anything.
We fixed, I mean, it's up $200 and $100.
Yeah.
It's just for your space over there. It's not much, right? That's per year, right?
Okay, yeah. Well, my space, I don't know, will I use $100 worth of water?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it costs to flush a toilet, but.
I don't know.
What, Rebecca, you
or
want to
the
answer that
electricity.
question?
So why is it 100? Because we round, I mean, I don't put $50
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, it was it's about 50, but
Okay.
we just deal with
Okay,
100.
I was just
Oh.
wondering.
Yes.
Yeah, because my space is a little less than 8 foot by a little less than 10 foot.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I did see that it went up just a little bit. The $3,000, yeah, gas is gonna go up.
$4.
As we accrue more land disturbances, which we got another one sent in yesterday, approved by Georgia Water and Soil and from Athens, which there'll be another subdivision added to Dade County. And there will be quite a few more in the near future. So I don't know. And as we progress on into more building codes, these numbers will have to go up. They will have to. But y'all have any questions?
So we have, currently it's $107,900. It went to $111,900. But the insurance, where's that?
It went up to 4,400.
Yeah, 4,400. And the net increase is only 4,000, so,
Yeah.
I mean, almost well over 100% of the increase to the budget was just due to insurance.
Yep.
So. And revenues are down, but it depends on who's applying for a permit, and so.
Yes, and that's
you know.
something that I've learned in the recent weeks, that a lot of the counties are charging, because I have to do weekly visits to these sites. Some counties are charging for this, we don't. And there's several other things that we could charge for. Dr. Pullen went with me on one last week. We didn't charge anything for that. But as we start accruing more and more, it may be something you guys want to look at, to whether we charge a fee to go out, which is required by the state that we do it. So
Okay.
it's an
Any questions?
expenditure now.
No questions from me?
No questions.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Evan, right under that.
And thank you, Commission. This is for the economic development side of the budget. It's actually
7520.
listed as the housing development and economic development for the county. There is one thing we did find out, and it was we took last year, we took the Northwest Georgia Joint Development Authority out of this budget that was paid by the county. The Industrial Development Authority now pays that. And I was informed earlier that because the first bill came to the county, it populated it over here, so that will come down. It's currently still in there, but it will be taken off, and that's at $26,000. So with that, our actual budget is going to be, going to actually go down. As far as what has been submitted. The revenue side of the economic development for the county, we get $15,000 from the city, and the Industrial Development Authority also puts in $38,000 to the county, with an additional $3,600 now a year for the office space that we occupy in the historic courthouse. On the expenditure sides, there's really nothing that goes up except there, of course, the the bond issues that will be surely highlighted. I think they're sunsetting here in the next year or two, Don, but it did go up about $4,200. That was a part of the budget. We don't use a lot, if you'll notice here, we don't do travel. We're very fortunate to have the top of Georgia who pays for pretty much all of our travel that we do. We attend the Georgia Economic Development Conference in Savannah every year in the fall. And that's other than some things that are north of Atlanta, that's the only traveling we do. And the county nor the Industrial Development Authority has to pay for that, because top of Georgia pays for our travel. That's the reason you won't see a lot in there. Same for the training. All of our boards now have to have 2 hours of training by state law, and the training has been paid through the Northwest Georgia Joint Development Authority or the top of Georgia for all of our board members on the industrial development side. So dues and fees, you know, that will change a little bit, but this is also where all of the CETA money that comes in, that our fees and dues, it's all through this this budget. So that's why you'll see all of that. Yeah. Don, you may be able to explain a little bit more as far as who all the county actually has that we pay fees and dues to.
Yeah, I could if I had last year's form, I had it written down there, but it's the MPO, CETA, and it's SEDA. I don't know, I'd have to go. It was Northwest Georgia Regional Commission, which we get a tremendous amount of support from them through, right now, for instance, they're doing our comprehensive plan. Those are the three major ones. It seems like there's one more smaller one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's what makes up those fees, and that's been in the budget way before we even had an economic development director. In fact, that was almost all that was in this department.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, I mean, obviously, when they said, hey, it's budget season, I said, well, we don't want any increase, you know, that we absolutely don't have to have, because there's nothing in this budget is that we've asked for or needed to reach out to from year over year. So we're revenue neutral from that respect for requests.
So the 10,000 is, we just billed it. It got billed through here, but you'll be paying that out of IDA.
Yeah, and we turned around, the Industrial Development Authority paid y'all back,
Yep.
but it got populated in here.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Is that the correct terminology? It got populated into the year's budget.
It's coming out.
So,
That's correct, Rebecca? Okay, yeah.
Done yesterday when I was doing computer.
Yeah, right. And then, so group insurance again was 4,400. Which Evan's a good, I mean, he's the only employee in there. That's an 18.97% increase. That's actually a good way to look at this. It's basically a 19% increase per employee. If you had one employee per department, but that's why the sheriff's office had such a.
that's pretty much on the insurance up there.
That's all insurance, yeah. And then the dues and fees, and we just talked about that. All right.
My only, I guess it would be for you, maybe. We got a $1,300 pay increase. How did that come about, or how are we working that?
Rebecca, what is?
Shouldn't be any pay increase.
It's based on actors in the system, so
It's what?
I would have to go full files, because it's based on what's currently being paid in our payroll system, is how it's populated. So
I don't know.
Okay, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, yep, you're right. So,
Any other questions? Thank y'all.
okay, thank you. Let's see, let's go back. It's Tank, okay, come on up, Tank. That's 6210.
Tank Stevens, Parks and Recreation Director. Nothing really crazy. I think it's dropped $100 from last year.
Yeah, so currently your budget's 322,000. It's proposed at $321,900. I don't know why, we should've just found $100 and kept it flat, but anyway. Looks like, again, insurance, 29.37% increase, so that's $23,700. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong item. $7,300 increase, that was a decrease at the top. $7,300 increase, increase for group insurance, that's 18.3%. And then, general supplies is up a little bit. You mentioned, I don't know what it was.
Fertilizer for the
Yeah, that's
fields,
right,
yeah.
okay. And then part-time employees is actually down 23.7. Some of that got pushed up to regular, and it's because, I can't remember, do you remember what the?
Why?
Yeah,
Concession workers.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
No
concession,
concession workers no more.
okay.
So there again, we went up 6,400 in employee pay on that line item.
Because Phil is now on, he took, well, I hate to say this, probably, early retirement, I mean, not early retirement, Social Security, but meaning he
Yeah.
can't work except X amount of hours. And I think, but that would have been a decrease, I don't know.
I'll get back to you on that one too.
Okay. But overall, your overall budget is down $100, which
Yes,
is great. Okay, any questions? All right, thank you,
All
Tom.
right, thank you, commissioners.
Let's see. Going just up the list here, public transportation, that's 5540. She had to go to the hospital this morning with her daughter, so that's why Penny's not here. Penny is always everywhere at every meeting. She usually comes to our regular meetings even. So, Rebecca, do you just want you help her with that budget? You just want to talk to us about her overall budget, because it's done through the state through a grant, Section 5311 GDOT grant.
So 5540.
Yeah.
Yeah, and overall, she actually
Went down.
down 37.5
Yeah.
in total, and it's just based on actual expenses. I think one of our employees had insurance and then doesn't have insurance anymore, so that's why hers actually went down.
Right.
I can't remember employees if she chose to maybe fill a position with a part, I don't remember, but,
Yeah, she's had
a lot
some
of hers.
changes with her employees. The net number's the same, but they're newer employees, so I think there's been a decrease, but it's just based off of seniority and natural attrition took place. So that's why there's a reduction. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be a permanent reduction going forward years to come, but because they changed that whoever was making, let's say $20 an hour, which I don't even know what they make, went to $15 an hour or whatever. It's just a starting pay thing, and so I think that's what that was about. And then, again, group insurance, somebody did not take the group insurance, therefore the net savings it did decrease 15.79%.
Yeah, because for everybody, that group insurance number is based on, so we just had open enrollment, and as soon as that concludes, MSI will send me a report on everybody that signs up, and I use those numbers of current enrollment to get our group insurance number, so it's who is currently enrolled.
Right.
in Group insurance, plus if we know of any vacant positions, we do, budget or estimate what we
Yeah.
think that might be for an open position.
And I don't think, and I'm surprised, one thing on here is her gasoline went down.
In most of these numbers, so I just want to say, so when we develop this budget to begin with.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
We give them a starting budget based on the past 2 to 3 years of actual activity.
Yep.
So if she's using less gasoline over the past 2 years, then that gasoline budget's gonna go down.
Yeah, and another thing,
Unless, you know, then they can come to a budget meeting and if they're like, well, this happened this year, but we're actually
Right.
gonna use more and then we can adjust.
That's right. That's probably the system actually generated that number, but in reality, that was done probably back in March and April when they were developing the budget. That's before this whole Iran thing. And so fuel at that time was not as expensive. It probably would just be flat if we'd just developed this as of today. But we had to get the grant in. Actually, it might have even been last fall when we developed that budget. So it's going to be November. And so fuel at that time was less when we developed the budget. And plus based off of their historical, because at one time we were down one employee for a good while. Therefore, we only had 3 vans or 4 vans out of the 5 or whatever. And so, yeah, I bet you that's it. So that actually might need to be amended up. We'll have to just get with her and take a look at that one. So currently her budget's $470,000 and the current proposed budget is $432,500. So that's almost an 8% decrease of $37,500. That's pretty steep decrease when you maintain the same employees. But again, some of that is because of the insurance no longer needed by one employee for whatever reason, and then that decrease in fuel. So that one we just need to look at it. If they can make it, she can make it, but we get reimbursed exactly half of whatever their actual cost is, all right? And so when we do this, the budget for this department is $352,800. That's revenue that comes in. And so even though that went down a little bit from the prior year, that's more than half of the proposed budget. And so anytime it starts decreasing, they'll put us on a slide, typically a slide down for that grant until it starts going up again. And then you have to prove to the Department of Transportation that you need more money if, in fact, you're using it. But it's just a service thing. So anyway, all right. Know this, it went down 7.98%.
About 27,000 that was just an employee and insurance.
Yeah. So the only thing I would think about would be, our question is that fuel.
Yeah, fuel.
So we need to get with Penny on that one. That could maybe be amended a tad. I'm all right up. All right. And that would have been Penny. All right. We have this. Oh, she's also over the senior center. That's right above this department. Senior center currently budgeted is $19,800, and that's basically the operation of the building. We proposed the budget at $16,200. We did make some cuts to it. We don't like cutting anything with senior citizens and stuff, but anyway. The bigger part of, well, some of that was, it says 20% was $300. That's not a big amount, but for fuel, and that's, let's see, also general supplies. And some of these things were cut. There's a lot of cuts, contracted services, general supplies, water, and electricity. Okay, so we put in new flush valves. We put in new LED lighting at that building 100% this year. It's complete now. And also redid the floors, painted everything. And so some of the contracted services and general supplies actually did go down as a result of the maintenance that was done. And that's, again, going back to SPLOST, that's how SPLOST can benefit the general fund. When you buy a new HVAC unit or whatever, that's a big capitalized purchase, it's just cheaper to operate. So anyway, that's actually what went down. It was, so that went down $3,600. Any questions? All right. DFAX, is anyone from DFAX here? Okay, they did submit their budget. It stays the same. They, current year's budget is $59,000. It did drop to $58,300. That's a 1.19% decrease. But, again, what's decreased is water and electricity. The actual, supplement or payment to other agencies was 39,600 last year, current year. Actually, it was last year, current year, and they were requesting the same amount for next year, so there's no increase. Any questions on that one? All right, Department of Public Health is above that. Any, it's 5110. Anybody from Public Health here? Okay. Public Health, payment to aid requested at 105,600. Again, it's power and electricity and water on those two went down. And they reimburse the county for those expenses, so when those go down, it corresponds to the revenue as a reduction. Any questions about the EPA? All right, the next one up is Billy. Is Billy here? Somebody text Billy. Billy needs to be here. He has 3 budgets to propose. All right, we'll move to elections. Let's go back to the beginning of the report. Elections, introduce yourself as our new guy again.
I'm Jason Oliver, I'm the Board of Election Supervisor, first budget meeting, so.
And he has been thrown to the wolves and put in the frying pan.
To say the least.
To say the least. It's been a busy year for him, and so we appreciate him and the Board of Elections board. So, this is your first rodeo here today. Currently, the budget is $198,400. The expense request is $191,100. That is a decrease of $7,300. But go ahead, you have some other presentations, so just go ahead and talk to us.
Well, just real quick on the budget and stuff, I mean, obviously, I see there's a 7,300 decrease, you know, from that, and I know we're not gonna have, or propose not to have as many elections next year. Hopefully, there's not gonna be specials to be able to add to that. Although we're going to a self-contained building where we won't have shared utilities and things here, I did propose that the utility costs obviously reflect that, and I brought obviously up front to be able to show other buildings that are in elections in the state of Georgia and kind of that would be the similar size and what they're currently going to be spending for their buildings or what they have been spending for their buildings to what we need to project for ours. So, so at the end of the day, I mean, obviously there's the increases on utility for when it comes to electric and water and things like that, but since we haven't gone through a fiscal year with the new building yet, it's going to be a little hard to judge that. Right. So it's kind of throwing a dart at a board until we kind of figure out what that's going to be and go through a full fiscal year. The only other thing that's on the budget that, and I'll go into kind of a little bit further discussion on that. The first thing is just a regular pay, just based on me. I'm the only full-time associate that's here. I know Luana, when she was here, her pay was at $56,300. There's a $16,000 decrease from her to me. And then there's also a $16,400 increase on part-time labor. Although the part-time labor is the Board of Election members, there is 5 members. Currently this year, out of the 5 members, I've only had 2 of the members that have physically been able to be here to support me through elections, which has made it highly difficult to be able to continue and do the things that we need to do to control elections. And just within the integrity of that, obviously for the continuity of the department and overall government for the elections department, I'm proposing that we get another full-time assistant to be able to support me and do what needs to be done. Out of the 5 members, like I said, the 2 have only been able to support me since January, or actually I've been here since March. Within that given time, there's been some hit and miss even with those 2 members, but they're only on a part-time basis. They are not here to control full-time status work and the things that need to be done. And with the increased amount of administrative work and other duties and other responsibilities, and now with the new elections building coming on, and everything that's going to be going on with that building, the work and the workload is just overwhelming for one person to do. We all saw that with LaWanda. I think LaWanda was just a bit overwhelmed with a lot that was going on. It kind of burned her out in a very short period of time. And I think just with the lack of being able to have additional support that's needed from the board members, although we've had two that's been doing a fantastic job of supporting and helping me the best they can, they're limited to a lot of things that they can do. So at the end of the day, and one thing I want to bring up to that is just one example is just on election night, 15 minutes before I went in and started doing the final results, my wife was in a car accident, and obviously there's no one else that could have jumped in to be able to do the final results. So it's putting the department in a situation where there's no one else to be able to jump in to do anything like that, either on election night or any other situation throughout the year to be able to support me to do the whole overall election functions, and especially election night reporting and things like that, where I have to be there to be able to complete that night and do what needs to be done. So without having a supporting member that is fully trained and fully understand and is board certified to understand all of those governmental things that have to be done, reported to the Secretary of State's office, it puts the department and the government, Dade County, in a kind of hard situation to be able to control the department overall. So.
All right. And those are important things to consider. I mean, I wish our two other commissioners were here to hear that, and maybe you can meet with them individually.
Yeah, I mean, that's my request is, you know, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding, especially in the public, that I've heard a lot come through, that elections is seasonal work, and election is not seasonal work when it comes to the year-round responsibilities, administrative work, and everything else that has to be controlled and done. Obviously, we know with, you know, with the Lyman's College that's here, there's a lot of administrative work back and forth that transfers between what needs to be done to get them in the system from DDS, and then doing the transfers back and forth. Just everything that needs to be done to be able to control a lot that needs to be done is just being overwhelming to a point, so.
So it's my
But I do request if I can get the commissioners to meet with me one-on-one, just to kind of get in a more deeper conversation of what those responsibilities are. I can lay it out, which I've detailed that out to what that looks like. That would compensate to why I feel we need another full-time assistant in the department.
So following up on the DDS, Department of Driver Safety, when one of the benefits, if you want to call it that, or accolades that you get as a lineman is they pay or assist you in your ability to attain a Class A CDL, correct? Yeah. And so when you go in to get that license, they may come in from New York City or Pennsylvania or wherever, but in Georgia, there's a box you have to uncheck if you don't want to be a voter. Well, a lot of people just miss that box to uncheck. Is that still how you understand it? That's
Yes.
what I've been told, at least over there. So they do get registered as a voter. Now, when they go home and figure out, oh, I can't vote anymore for some reason, a lot of times they do change back to their home state, wherever it is. They deal with that a lot. It does fluctuate our numbers as well, because they have, 3, 4, 5 classes a year down here. And so anyone that attains that and fails to uncheck the box gets registered to vote. And so it does cause quite a bit of administrative work throughout the year. And you do it as you're able to do it. Talking about the board, you know, back in 2000-ish, I say 2000, I guess it was 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in there. There was a push to go from an individual, well, it was the probate court who was responsible for holding elections to a board of elections. I think it was last year or 2 years ago that the state legislature actually approved the law where they may have to do a board of elections now. Probate judges didn't want to do it anymore. They just weren't getting paid enough, and their staff didn't want to do it, and so they're not doing it anymore. So we made that decision. We, being the board of commissioners years ago, 2005, 6. I wasn't even here then, but did that. It was set up in a manner that each board member would serve as a part-time employee, basically. Now, IRS laws have changed over the years. Therefore, we used to pay everybody with contracted services. We can't do that anymore. We have to use them as a part-time employee, which means we also have to pay 41 taxes on all those folks. We have had 2 members with health issues that's not been able to be here much, a lot. They've been here some, but as much as they could, I suppose. 2 others have really stepped up, and they are actually drawing near to becoming a full-time employee because their average per week time they work is getting close to 30 hours a week. And so they actually are getting very, very close to becoming full-time status. If that were to happen, then you have to add benefits, retirement, insurance, all those things on top of everything. And so that's not the goal. We don't want to go down that route because that would actually cost a whole lot more than another employee.
And with that being said, I mean, obviously both Linda and Phyllis are the 2 board members that's been supporting me since the first part of the year. And Linda herself has already used 1,125.75 in hours, and Phyllis has used 905, which now remains if we were to have them balance it out for the rest of the year, knowing that we have another election and potentially another runoff at the end of the year. If we average it out, I'm only allowed to work them now only 13 hours for Linda and 21 hours per week for the rest of the year. So if I don't cut them off to a point of really reducing their hours within the next couple months, it's going to put us at risk of me not having the support I need to get through the November and potentially December runoff.
That's correct.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just if circumstances like this and what continues to happen based on that, and if you look at the hours that we're using on both of them, nearly been using 80 hours a week for 2 employees to assist me with all the administrative work and all of the physical and everything else that needs to be done to manage the elections for this year.
Yeah, so it is, you definitely want to meet with him if you get a chance. I mean, he's not trying to scare you, but it's reality. And the fact is, you know, it's just part of the process. It really has nothing to do with the building.
No.
This is a process. We've had 6 elections, 2 public service commissioner, an election, a runoff last fall, and then the special election and a runoff for the Congressional District 14 seat, and now the general primary election and a runoff. And possibly, you want to tell them what happened?
Yeah, I got contacted by the Secretary of State's office yesterday and told me that the current state runoff for public service commissioner District 3 that we just did the runoff, they had a massive glitch in the system, and a lot of the results got deleted out. We had to re-upload all of those results.
Not ours.
Yeah. We had to re-upload all those results from Dade County this morning. And we're praying that the results are going to stick this time, as well as all other counties in the state of Georgia. If they don't, and the system doesn't take it, then the county will be forced to do another runoff again, where we'll be recounting all the ballots for the May all over again. And this will be the 4th time that we've done a recount.
It's ridiculous.
So, I mean, it's...
Which exceeds the 2 board members. It'll be more than 18 hours that week. So, anyway, all right.
Well, another thing is that, you know, when you're talking about benefits and everything else, I do not take benefits here in the county. I'm on my wife's benefits, so there is a bit of savings there. People that don't know me, I've been in corporate America for over 20 years. I know budgets, I know understanding of operational efficiency and things to do. I have already discovered a tremendous amount of operational things that we are doing that can be better and more improved. I feel when I get in the new facility, there's a tremendous amount of cost savings and things that I can do to get the budget a whole lot lower than what we have been doing, especially when it comes to supply cost and overall operational cost. So when we're talking about adding a full-time associate, I believe I can find the cost that needs to be done to compensate off, to cover one. So.
Any questions? All right. All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right at the top, right above that, is 1,100. 1,100 is legislative boards, just to knock this one out while we're right here. The legislative boards is well, now it's contained in that is Board of Equalization. Is there anything else that falls in that, or No, not Board of BOA?
It's just what's under,
I mean, not BOA, ABC is what I meant.
no,
Okay, so 100% of the budget in this department, called Legislative Board, is Kathy Page's responsibility for Board of Equalization. Current budget is 7,300. It's actually expensed to 6,300. So that was a 13.7% decrease. It's $1,000. And the only change really was the pay. I mean, again, this is over a point of averages from the last two to 5 years. It went from 2,000 to basically 1,200. That's $800 of it. And then some travel. I think it was travel. A ruler out here was the other one. Nope, sorry. It was printing and bonding, looking at the wrong line item. Printing and bonding went down, so those are the only two things on that. I don't have anything else. You have any questions on that one? Kathy's not available to be here due to health reasons, so.
Mine's showing that travel went down 500.
Oh, it did.
Okay.
It did. Yeah, it did. I was just, was it
Printing
trying?
and binding's the same, travel went down.
Oh, you're right. I crisscrossed my ruler. Travel did go down.
Mine splits it on the page there.
Oh, okay, good. Gotcha. 500, correct. Printing and bond did stay the same. It's 100 and went from 1,800 to 1,300. They're able to do some online training. If they're a brand new member to the Board of Equalization, which by the way, they are looking for a member looking for a member. So if you'll reach out to the Superior Court Clerk's office if you're interested in that. But when it's a new member, they, I think, have to go off for a week. But once you're established, you have online training ability. So, all right. While we're on Kathy, run down to, is it 1565? Nope, that's not 1565. It's 2150, 2150. What we're calling out up here are department numbers. I'm sorry, y'all. 2150, it's Superior Court Clerk. So on hers, she has a budget of currently of $414,100. The requested budget amount is $452,300. This is one of the only departments that has a value sitting there next to regular employees that's an increase. She has requested a full-time employee to be hired at some point in the year. That's not a salary for a full year. I mean, it looks to me like about 6 months or so, but I don't have the exact calculation, but anyway. And the purpose is, she said she has one retiring and she'd like for the new employee to sit with the proposed new employee to train them for a 6-month or so period. And so she's made the other request in the past for another employee, but that's the request there. So I'm just passing that along. Group insurance on hers did go up. 26%, that's $22,700. And her attorney fees went up, $4,400. And so, that was quite an increase from $6,000 to $5,000, but there is a case pending down there that this person he's, I believe, basically sued her and the judges and everybody that's a court officer. I don't know if it's a Dade County thing or a circuit thing or what, but they're fully aware of it. I can't remember the guy's name, but it is what it is. So
That's the cause of the increase.
that's the cause of the increase, and they don't know when that's going to be resolved. So I know, Robin, you want to say anything about that?
I really,
Yeah, I understand. It's not it's a touchy subject, and, anyway. But that's why this is outside. Is this yours, or is that another attorney? Do you know if she's hired a person just to help
I
us?
think it's probably me.
Okay, all right. I got you. All right. So anyway, we have to, you know, defend our employees, including constitutional officers, and that's what that is. And anyway, all right. The other things, her contracted services, looks like it did go down $2,100, and then a few other places there went mostly down, little amounts, $100, $300, $500. Any questions? I mean, I would encourage you to reach out to her. I can give you her mobile, and you can talk to her if you'd like to about this position. I know that's, but I get it, you know, hiring someone to sit and train, so. All right, let's see here. Let me skip down. I'm looking around the room. Rodney, why don't you come on up real quick? Somebody wake Rodney up. Oh, there he is. I'm sorry. How do you like these exciting times right now? I'm telling you. All right.
All right, I'm Rodney Ross, I'm coordinator for the Chiefs Association.
Yeah.
All 5 fire departments in the county. I don't have a sheet for a budget because we really don't have one. We get $2,000 per month,
Yeah.
but we would like to see an increase in that.
Yeah. So 24,000, each department gets basically 24,000 annually. And, let's see, there's a little bit of revenue, but I can't remember what that revenue's from. I don't know, it doesn't matter. That's fine.
What, the last year?
Yeah, I think it's under fire administration, but the bigger, this is not necessarily you, Rodney, but it's related to fire. We have a fire administration, I'm sorry, it's 3510, did y'all find that? 3510-00, and then it goes through 3510-17, I think. It's like 3 pages. Most departments are very similar, they're not exact. In the fire administration budget, we do contain a benefit for mountain rescue. They get $6,000, it's my understanding, per year, not $24,000, but $6,000. And most of that's to replace ropes and whatever. I mean, you're supposed to replace the rope every time you use it, right? But
Supposed to.
I'd rather use a rope you got. If you don't have one, you can use one on me if you're picking me off the side of Lookout Mountain. But contracted services, there, the big amount is Georgia Forestry, I believe. It's where we pay that Georgia Forestry bill.
No, the big amount is it's for that cancer, the policy.
Oh, that's right.
So,
Tell us about it.
prior year, when it was split out between the fire departments, it was, this year, for 26, it was all paid out of just 3510.
Okay, all right.
So you'll see their contracted services in each department went down, and then it all got moved up to just the admin.
Okay.
So the 2,400 to the 28,000 that's the numbers we're talking about,
Cancer policy.
cancer policy.
So Georgia passed a law a 3 years ago, that the county, pays for a cancer policy, cancer insurance policy for each firefighter, and so that equates to $26,400. Do you know how many firefighters we have, like, total system-wide, roughly?
I don't know the total number right now.
Okay, all right. So, all right, and then, so the number right above that, Rebecca, dues and fees, that's where the 8,600 is. That is what we pay Georgia Forestry as a fee. Each county pays a fee to their local forestry to extinguish forest fires and such, which I would think they would put it at anyway, but I don't want to test that. So anyway, anything else, Rodney? I mean, I hear the request for, it's currently, like you said, 24,000 per year, and it has been for a while. We do pay, just so the public knows, each department shows increases and decreases for stuff like fuel. So we do offer fuel to the fire trucks, and but then they turn around and pay us, right? I mean, you can get We can usually buy fuel because it's tax-free cheaper, but sometimes coming off the mountain doesn't quite make
Right, you
sense
gotta-
always. So, but if they happen to be fighting a fire in a neighboring, zone, they can fill up, and it's a little cheaper than it might be in their backyard. So, that's what that's about. But then there's a revenue that offsets that where they pay some of that back. One thing possible we could do in the future is consider letting it have fuel. I mean, I guess that would be, it's not a direct, the only point of having that would be just for accountability. I mean, heavy equipment, the prior year, there was 143,000, and that is a zero now, so that is a decrease, thank goodness. Do you recall what that was, Rebecca?
I'm sorry.
It's actually North Dade. I think it's we sold something, I think.
Oh, the 143,000?
Yeah.
You'll see a revenue for this current fiscal year, you'll see a revenue come in and expense go out. So they sold a fire truck.
Okay,
So the revenues for the sale of the fire truck, and then they turned around and bought another one
okay.
with
Yep.
those funds.
All right. Anything else? Everything's pretty, I mean, we do offer, if you have a major engine failure or something, which typically one department per year, sometimes it's 2 per year, but sometimes it's 0, but typically
Right.
there's at least one amongst 7 departments or 7 areas. I know we have Sand Mountain now, which is 2, but anyway. And we still break that out, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. Davis and I'm still separate, but technically we have the one zone. Any other questions? You have anything you want to say to us?
Just consider it.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you. Ansel, are you here for coroner, or come on up? So, tell us.
I'm Ansel Smith, Deputy Coroner, here on behalf of Courtney. She's a coroner. Basically, ours is just mainly
3630.
supplies, body bags and gloves and PPE that we need to have has went up. Some of our training did go up as we're required. Every one of us, 24 hours a year to go to training. It's kind of went up a little bit, but there is a possibility. It's not set in stone yet, but possibility that one of us will have to go to a week-long class within the next year. That's why we went up on it to cover that if that was to happen. But other than that, it's just supplies and the transports that we have to send people down to the crime lab for autopsies. They've went up a little bit on their transport fees.
Okay. Let's see. So you had 73,400 currently in the budget. 85,500 is proposed, which is a 16.5% increase. But again, insurance was of that 12,100, 5,800 was insurance, and then the other big thing was the contracted services at 3,500. And you just said, no, wait a minute, is that right? Or is it education and training? I'm sorry, education and training, 3,500. So, all right, any questions? And the transport fee went up, how much did she say this year, or did it? She was telling us about something this year at the coroner.
Yeah, it did go up. It was like around 325, but he's going up close to 400.
Tell us what is transport fee?
Transport fees, whenever we have a case that needs to go down for an autopsy down in the crime lab, we do try to do it, but with Courtney working at our line gear and us having full-time jobs, it's hard for us to go. So we have Allied Transport that picks them up at the morgue for us, and they'll transport them down to the crime lab for us. And that's where that fee is.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Any questions, Bill? No?
No.
All right, thank you, Ansel. And I wrote Ansel's name next to, make sure you tell Kyle this, EMS. Long story. All right, right above that is EMS. Running the fire departments is 3630. And so we'll talk about that. I didn't write the total budget down, but anyway. The current proposed budget's $808,900. It is a 34% increase. That equates to about $206,900. Let's see here. R&M vehicles is up $5,900. R&M equipment is up $4,500. Contracted services is up $200,000. And then gasoline is up well, it's up $1,200, 66.67. So we'll know more about those increases as we just got the grant for 2 new ambulances. We have been fighting a lot of changes with the ambulances as far as our current fleet, all kinds of things regarding the maintenance and operation of those. But with the 2 new ones, we hope that value will go down, but we don't know exactly when we're going to get those ambulances. It's kind of like the 3 fire trucks we ordered almost two and a half years to get those. And so we don't want to estimate that too far out. Now, the $200,000 increase, which makes up most of that $206,900 increase over the whole budget, is related to contracted services again, going from $460,000 to $660,000, and that's what it costs to have an ambulance contract. That was the one of the most efficient or best proposals that we got. If we had stayed with CHI, it was going to go up right at $1 million. And so that was impossible. We just couldn't do it. 4 times what we've been paying. And so this is a 43.5% increase, but it is what it is. And so we're currently in negotiations on the contract with them, with Puckett. And fuel, hopefully newer vehicle, more efficient, but we'll see. I hope we can get by with it. $3,000 worth of fuel. In the contract, there is an agreement where we provide so much fuel, but then they pay over or something. I can't remember how that works exactly, but they pick up some of the fuel costs as well as the county.
And they also pick up some of the repairs and maintenance also.
They do. Sometimes getting reimbursed for that's challenging, but they like to hold on to those bills for a year or so. But anyway. So the accounts receivable gets backed up. But anyway, we bill them. Any questions on that one?
We're still under contract or negotiation with them.
We are.
We've not signed nothing.
No, we haven't. No.
That contract doesn't run out
Till February 2027.
yeah.
So, yeah. So that's why we started early. Yeah. All right. Alex would have been here, but he's back at the hospital with his family member, and so prayers are with him today. So anyway, all right. Let's see if I can jump down to the next page. Is 3,800 budget department 3,800. That's 911. And Rebecca, you may have to help. I don't have my notes on this one, so you may have to help me. The current budget is $1,055,000. The request is $1,108,000. That is a 5% increase. Do you want to help me talk about?
It's made up of group insurance. You can see there's a little on there for group insurance.
Yeah.
57.5.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's it.
Can you say that a little louder? I
Yeah, I
missed
said
part.
that,
You're using the wrong mic. That's the mic that goes to him.
sorry, you have to use them both. I didn't know they were using both.
Well, I think it'll pick up
gotcha.
if you lay it on the table.
Okay, their total increase was $53,000, and their total group insurance increase was $57,500.
Yep.
So they actually went down, if you don't include the group insurance increase, they actually went down by, what is that? $2,500?
Right,
No, $4,500.
that's right.
Better.
Okay,
Any question? So,
sorry.
I'm sure if Alex was here, he'd give us a lot more detail than that, but, he's watching online, so good job. But it would have gone down, but anyway, 57, just to repeat that. Insurance went up $57,500, which is a 36% increase. The net increase to the entire budget was only $53,000, so there was some other changes, a lot of smaller changes down through there, as you can see.
Yeah, and I think most of his numbers down through there were based on actuals. When
Right.
we sat down with him and had a meeting, he didn't change
No,
much of anything.
okay.
I'm curious, what made the phone go up 7,300?
That's probably mobile, if I had to guess. I don't know for sure. Is that mobile? Do you think that's Verizon or, they have so many redundant backups. They've got Trenton Telephone, our PRI system, AT&T, Verizon, and something else through Verizon. There's like another level of Verizon. And so, but it is 911. I mean, so if one goes down, another one picks up, and anyway. The AT&T network covers 911 centers, so when it went down that Christmas 4 or 5 years ago, everything switches over to another system, and anyway. But that's a guess, I mean, honestly. Okay, we already talked about animal control. Going down to 3920, emergency management is also Alex. The request is, the current budget's 56,000. Again, that's 3920. Request is 57,500. That's a 2.68% increase. What is that one, Rebecca? Let's see.
We're in emergency management.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
3920.
mainly in contracted services.
I'm sorry, what?
In contracted services.
Oh, yep, all right, there it is, yep. So, it went from 13,000 to 16,000, $3,000, so half it actually, without that one, it would actually gone down a little bit, but $1,500 increase overall, that's a $3,000 increase to that one line item. And who knows with contracted
I don't know his
services, probably
contracted-
Tyler, but I'm not 100% sure, I can't blame Tyler completely, but he has quite a few contracts through EMA.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna write that though. Increase. All right. I guess that's all for that. Who we got? Maintenance guy over here. Come on up here, maintenance guy. Let's see here. Let's go back to 15. What are you, 15? 1565. Jared Hogan.
Jared Hogan, building maintenance. I don't have any requests. I know some numbers have changed, but I got another truck on the road, so fuel changed. And then a big chunk of mine is the property insurance. And we added some more to it for the 2 new buildings.
Oh, yeah. So Jared has the pleasure of having property insurance listed under his budget. You see the one down there, 52.3100, that's insurance, property, and fidelity. That's through ACCG, IRMA, and so it went from $320,000 to $375,000. That is a $55,000 increase. His total budget currently is $840,300. The proposed budget is $896,900. therefore, that's a difference of $56,600. 55,000 of that is our insurance on our buildings, all of our buildings. And, you know, again, I think that we're self-insured through ACCG, Association of County Commissioners of Georgia. And so we have outsourced that multiple times to get proposals. No one can touch that number. I mean, we did increase our deductible. It was $1,000 a few years ago. It's now $5,000. There's times if it were $1,000, we probably could use it more, but you know, if it's something small that we can fix, we'll fix it before we turn it in on insurance. But anyway, that's what that is. That is
Cleaning supplies.
cleaning supplies. Where's
A little over 11,000. And this cost of goods.
Yeah, so one of the things we did, remember on the library, it went down. We moved that's not 100%, but we did move some of that over. And also, this will also include setting up the initial cleaning for the elections building. It's not gonna cost $20,000, but I mean, you know, buying mops, buckets, initial supplies, whatever, vacuums, whatever it is you need to buy. But some of that is from the other department that came, where we reduced it, and put it up just over here, just to keep it up. And then general supplies went up 3,100, but that's everything from nuts and bolts to air filters to, you know, everything. And then contracted services is up 14,000. So what that is you know, basically HVAC for the most part. I mean, yeah, I'd say most of it.
Probably the first 50.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? Any request on your side?
No.
All right.
Building, but
The what?
maintenance shop.
Let me, at the top. There's a decrease, a significant decrease, in their employees. And so, when Jared was made director, of course, he's already an employee, so we didn't hire a full, like a whole nother director. We just increased his salary a little bit and gave him a raise, but so we had this extra money, and so that's putting that back. Now, we do have budgeted a cleaning person for downstairs, and is it part-time or will ultimately be full-time?
Ultimately, so starting, it's part-time to cover, we lost a part-time employee.
Correct.
So it's to cover for that part-time employee. But when the other buildings, the election building and other things, when they come on, we have then moved it to a full-time position to cover those.
Right. So right now, there was just not enough square footage, in my opinion, to justify a full-time employee doing what they need to do. And then we also picked up DFAX. DFAX outsourced that for many years, but they contacted the county about that, and so we are picking up a little bit more revenue. I didn't write the revenue on here. I think it's coming in. Actually, it's coming into DFAX's budget, but really it should be recognized here. But anyway, and what they're doing, they're paying us to clean their office space. But if you go down and ask them, they don't want it cleaned every day, which whatever. I mean, we go down there and do what we need to do. But that's, DFAX is a pretty large area. I don't know if you've ever been in it. It's pretty much half this building. And so once we pick that up, and then the elections building, the depot, and then the library, and then the senior center, then you've got a full-time job. You know, that's a lot of square footage when you start adding those 4 or 5 buildings together. So, but they're handling it right now, in between everything else.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Who missed? Looking down, we have right below that is 2,100. That's judicial administration. We have, their current budget, now judicial administration is basically the court facility, okay? $87,600. The budget request is $92,800, and this also contains part-time, and who those are is the court reporters for the Superior Court clerks, Superior Court judges. Each judge assigns a one, can't think of what I'm trying to say, a clerk, not a clerk, take that, court reporter. It just left me. Yeah, to take down everything for that judge. And so what happens is the circuit, they are through a court order, which is, we've been on the books for a long time, get paid that way, then they divide it out based on our population, and which is right at 10%. And so we pay 10%, and 10% of that totals for the four, $25,600. That's how you get that number. There was an increase last year, and this is the other half of that increase, I think for $4,700, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they started it on a calendar year, not a fiscal year. So the increase was in effect, I believe, January 1st this year, and this will be finalize that. And so the total now is $25,600. Yep. And outside of that, what else you got on that one? Anything?
Nothing that stands out.
Nothing stands out, okay. Okay. And in the past, Judge House came and did that, but I said, you don't need to come up here. Plus he had court. Magistrate, go to the bottom page, or next page, it's Department 2400. Magistrate court is Joel McCormick, and his request is current budget's $197,700. Proposed budget is $206,400. That's a 4.4% increase. The part-time is do you know, that's Judge?
That's the part-time magistrate judge, and it's based on the number of hours he works for
Yeah,
the year.
that's right. Okay, and it just averaged higher? I mean, that's what, okay.
Yes.
All right, so that's Harvey McKeag, the magistrate in his office. And $8,700 with the total increase, that's $6,500 of it. And then, of course, group insurance is the remainder. Everything else is pretty flat, actually. Well, yeah, pretty flat. And that was, I think he and Connie both, I think they both have insurance. I'm not sure, but anyway. Any questions on that one?
No.
Okay. Probate court, anybody from probate? Nope. All right. Probate is, current budget is $378,500. Their request is $391,300, a 3.38% increase. That's $12,800. And guess what? Their group insurance went up exactly $12,800. So that's 100% what changed in her budget. Everything else, she said everything stayed the same. I guess it did, pretty much. So it's a few up and downs, but they all equaled out to zero. Any questions on that one? Okay, juvenile court's the next one. That's Department 2600. Juvenile court, has the judge, is it Judge Ellis or Ellison? Ellis. Yeah, and Carolyn Bradford, who's the court administrator, I guess, juvenile court administrator. That's who makes up the line item at the top. No changes there. The current budget's $103,200. The request is for $111,400. That's an $8,200 increase. This one, the changes occurred primarily with, looks like professional fees, no, I don't know.
I think it's
It's
attorney.
attorney fees,
Yeah.
right, okay, yeah. Attorney fees went up $2,500. Court reporter went up $6,200. And that makes up 5, 6, 7, that makes up basically the $8,200 increase, so. That is like it's just a pendulum that swings. It's heavy one year, it goes back next year, I bet you it'll go down. It's been doing that for years.
Yeah, it's just based on the caseload.
Yep, absolutely. It is based on caseload. Any questions? Okay, public defender, we already approved this budget through our meeting with him back in January. If you recall, when he came before us, the budget was $102,400 today, or this current year. The request is with $108,700. That is a little over a 6% increase, $6,300. Most of that being the payment to the agency. We pay Catoosa County, who then breaks out all the monies and sends it to the judges and pays the bills for the circuit. Well, I say the circuit, it's for Dade and Walker and Catoosa. I guess it is circuit. It's all 4 counties, yeah. $7,400 though. He finally got 3 attorneys hired. I believe it was 2 or 3 attorneys hired. And so he's finally 2 full staff. If you recall, that was primarily funding a defunded position prior. So we are expected to get some revenues back from unused portions over the last 2 to 4 years. The state has been graciously holding on to. And so Catoosa is working diligently to get that money and then distribute it back to us. But the revenue is only $800 right now, but we will get some of that back at some point. And that we take whatever he requests, divide it by 12, send it in, and they send it back, the unused portion. But because he had 3 defunded, or 1 defunded and 2 unfilled positions, we have experienced an overpayment. And so, anyway. Okay. What have I missed? Let's see.
All 3 of Billy's.
Yeah, let's go through Billy's. Okay. All right. 4,100 is Billy. Massagill, that's for roads. 4,100 is, current budget is $1,144,600. The expense budgeted portion is $1,312,500. That is almost a 15% increase, 14.67% increase, $167,900. The largest part of that, almost all of that, comes on one line item for general supplies, and that's what I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. It's a $180,000 increase, and basically that is inflation. I mean, there's no more piles of gravel than there would be any other year. It's just more expensive, and so again, that's sand, salt, supplies relating to preparing to pave and paving. I'm sorry, what?
Gravel, asphalt.
Gravel, asphalt, yeah. And so that's where we put that. Anything else, Rebecca, on that one? I mean, that's pretty much it, yeah.
So on the 4,100, we got paving in there?
Paving is primarily, that 180 along with the top up there, 466,200. Our 30% match that comes out of the general fund is listed through employees, part-time employees, their benefits, which I don't have all that added up, but we can add it up, And then the general supplies, that's where that's listed at. We pay most of that out of, SPOS. So,
All right, so on this budget, I have a question. Our LMIG and our LAR money that comes in the grant and we deposit into the general fund, is it what helps fund our paving?
yes, it does.
All right, so where in this budget, so we've at this time, we've got 321,000 in our general fund. We have received 870-something thousand in grant money. So it's not in general fund, so how are we gonna reallocate money back to that number?
The money, you want to explain?
Yeah, it's really timing. I mean, we get, a majority of our money comes October, November with insurance premium tax, property taxes. So, and then those funds are, they're used throughout the year to pay what we need to pay. So, is that?
Well, so those monies come in, and then that's, but I was talking about the timing of paving. It goes over a different fund.
The LMIG and LRA money
Fiscal years is what I'm getting at.
Is the employees, the related costs, and those general supplies, the 400. So if you add that, that's more. And then we typically pay the 30% that we need to pay out of SPLOST, our match.
So let me re-ask this. So we're at the end of our fiscal year, correct? We got this money back in April, May.
And we have a full year from there to use it.
I understand that, but that money's gone at this point right now of this fiscal year. So where are we pulling it back out of to refund it?
We'll come back in the general fund when we get paid back from the Department of Revenue and the Insurance Commissioner's Department in October. That's why in the last few years, we've been paving in the fall of the year.
So what department's spending as of now?
It's out of 4,100. It's through roads.
Because we've continued to pay employees and their related expenses, and, I mean, we've expensed out of general supplies. I don't know what the actual amount is.
GDOT gives us X amount of dollars to pave X amount of miles of road.
Right.
And then when we pave those roads, they come up and inspect them.
I understand that. What I'm saying is we've had that money for paving, but that money is gone and we've not paved in this physical. I understand we got till next year to do that. In my mind,
we used the money that we got in the spring, spring of this year, was actually paying for the pavement that we got last year.
okay.
Yes.
So with that said, if we don't get LMIG or LAR money next year, how are we covering for the paving of last year?
There won't be any
this
paving.
year? If we pave,
Well,
If we pave this year-
SPLOST, it comes out of SPLOST. When we can pave what we need to out of SPLOST, and of course, I mean, that's the benefit of having SPLOST. Let's go in a world where we don't have SPLOST, we don't have T-SPLOST.
I want to stick on the LMIG and the
Yeah.
LAR and that
Yeah,
in this budget, because
I'm getting there.
okay.
Okay, you would see a line down here at the very bottom that says 54.2500 or 2600, I don't know what it is. And you would have to put a number out there and charge that to this budget, which would be all general fund. Meaning you would, 800,000-ish means you'd have to, that's about what, 800,000? At least 800,000 would be what, a 1.5 mil increase. We're using SPLOST to supplement.
I guess our
prop up
match
the
money,
general.
but I guess the answer I'm getting to is we've took this next paving session's money of LMIG and LAR to pay last year's paving. Is that correct?
It's just like taxes. When taxes come in, you're actually paying for what happened from January 1st.
When does the state So when does the state expect us to pave with this money that they have give us? Last year or this coming up year?
One whole year. You actually have 2 years on on LMIG and LRA.
Forward or backwards?
Forward.
Okay.
The only way around that, in a world where we don't have SPOS or T-SPOS, is if you want to pay the same amount of roads, then you'd have to have a new line item down here that says roads, road construction. And it,
So am I thinking about this wrong? Because we got this money to pave roads forward, but we've done spending on back paved roads.
I don't look at it that way because we've been doing it that way for 20 years. But I mean, if you want to, you can say it that way. Yeah. But we've also had the blessing of having a SPOS. Without it, you either don't pave roads or you put whatever LMIG and LRA as a line item in here, and that's all you could, well, I mean, that's all I say that's all you can spend, but you got to match that at 30%. So that's where the income comes in for at the top under regular employees.
So in a bad scenario, we don't get LMIG or LAR.
No, you get it. You have to spend it then, though.
Next year, if we don't get it, if something happens and we don't get it.
Gotcha, all right.
They've give us X amount of money to pave X amount of roads. Where are we gonna get the money from?
We don't pay that much road anymore.
So they're not gonna come back and say they want their money back?
You said that we don't get the money.
Next year's money. They give it to us this year to pay.
I mean, you'd have to pay it out of SPOS, 100%. And the 30%,
So we'd have to pay 100% of it. If we don't get LMIG or LAR next year, for the money we've done received, we'd have to take it out of SPOS to
that's the only
meet
place
their criteria.
Yes. Am I saying that right? I mean, right.
So do y'all understand where I'm coming? This
has
been weighing on my mind for about a month now. It's really.
No, I totally get it.
I mean,
but you got.
We're paving roads in the rears. We're paying for roads we paved last year. If to me, in building houses, I've got a contract to build 5 houses. I spent all the money for the first house. I got to build the second one to build the first one. We're going to pave, but we got to get next year's money to pave this year's paving.
You're correct.
Okay.
It's all about.
I understand cash flow and all that. It's just.
That's exactly right.
We're paying for paving in the rears. We're behind. I ain't saying we done it. I'm just saying at some point in time.
No, you're right.
Okay.
No, you got it.
All right.
I think that sounds right. I mean, yeah. Okay. But without SPOS.
So how do we fix that? Because.
Well, you'd go up, you'd have to.
Not the millage rate, I mean.
Well, you'd have to put a line item here that's paving. Went up, that equal up to that amount.
My issue is we've spent the money. If we don't get it next year, as of right now, in my mind, here's the way I'm seeing it. We've spent the money. So to pave, we've got to pull it from somewhere else to do that. So have we spent $900,000 in the road department, or did we use it for cash flow for something else?
Ultimately, in a 12-month period, you spend it out of the department, $4,100. But yes, it's definitely a cash flow.
Okay. All right.
There's no doubt it's a cash flow issue. We have a cash flow issue every year. Most counties do. We've got one this year because we rolled our property tax, our millage rate down 0.25%, which would have collected about $300,000. Guess what we're short in this budget? Ultimately, it's 600-something thousand, but I think we can find some of that, but 300-something thousand. If the money doesn't come in, there's only one line item.
So that's the second time I've heard about the millage rate being rolled back for last year. That millage rate rolled back last year was for last year's budget, not this upcoming budget.
It's for
we don't know what we are going to bring in unless you already know what our property tax digest is.
The millage rate, that is your right to think of it that way, but I don't. I think of it just the opposite. I think you base your millage rate off what you need in the budget. If it's based off of needs and not wants.
So what are we getting in our next, what are we getting What will our millage rate bring in for this
I
next?
can't tell you until the
Then you
45
can't
days
tell me we're
assessment.
short on money, 300,000, because we don't know what we're gonna receive yet.
I can because, but when we calculated last year, we would have, how much would we have brought in, Rebecca? Roughly. Was a
quarter?
1/4% we gave up?
200?
200, 300,000? I think it was 312,000 to be exact, but I mean, whatever, I won't split hairs with you.
Were we short on last year's budget?
Well, we balanced it, but are we? I don't know. It depends yet. It's time will tell after the 60 days after we close the books. We do everything we can to stay within budget.
But you think we're going to be short on last year's budget?
I think there's a possibility, yes.
And I tried to explain that, but it's nice. I love rolling the millage rate down. I do. But when you do that and you're already running it exactly what you need, if you lower that millage rate, anything, you're just not going to collect the same amount. The only thing that we can guarantee in revenues is one line item, and that's taxes. That's property taxes. Now, I pay property taxes. I don't want them to go up, but that was what I considered growth last year. And when you give up the growth, now we're paying it. And
So
No,
before,
I don't know
hopefully
if
we
I'm
can cut
thinking
back
this
and-
appropriately, but like, we need to plan for, last year, we didn't know that health insurance was gonna go up 21%. We didn't know some of the contract services. I didn't know about the ambulance, like what was gonna happen with that. And we did know it could change, but we didn't know what that amount was. So part of me is like, we need to plan.
But we're paying that increased insurance stuff now, not last year.
We will pay it is that?
Coming
The
forward.
group insurance starting July 1st,
that's
we'll pay it.
what I would like to.
But we're still trying to pay that with the same little bucket of money that we reduced because that same amount, you see, like, if we don't have any growth, I don't know what we're gonna have because we don't have anything.
Don't have it yet.
But if we say we're gonna collect the same amount of property tax coming up, we're not gonna be able to fund
But there's
those
nowhere we're gonna
increases.
do that, because we already know that property values has went out and they've increased.
But that's what dropping the millage rate does. If you drop it and take the rollback, it's saying I'm gonna collect overall the same amount of property tax I collected in the prior year.
If we take the rollback, we don't know what the rollback is, we don't know what we're bringing in, we don't know any of that.
No, we
yet.
don't.
We don't.
Okay.
But we try to set a
we
budget
didn't
saying
last
this is
year.
what we need to operate. And then millage rate, can we get a millage rate to help us operate? If we can't, then what are we gonna cut in our budget that we're not going to do to be able to get that?
So can you give me, at the next budget meeting, can you give me a prediction of how much short we're going to be for last year?
426. I mean, in every budget meeting every monthly meeting that we have that monthly report that shows budget versus actual. Right now, we are over, when did the last one show? April? Because we have, our expenses post back. So it posts when we actually expense them, even though like April expenses, we may have bought something in April, but we don't pay it till May.
Right.
Well, we're gonna post that back to April. So we're always about a month behind when I show you those reports. Currently, we are over budget as of April 30th of what we budgeted in '26.
Okay.
I have not looked at May yet. I don't know if some of that's caught up, if we've spent a little bit less in May than we have, but.
And
as
that's
of
what I'm saying
April, we were.
about CHI, and I'm not trying to point them out, but they're just one vendor of many that owe us money. Now, when you add in the ARs and accounts receivable and all that kind of stuff, then you start seeing that it does come down. It's not quite as bad as 400. It gets closer to 100%. And that's what a budget is. You're trying to hit that target of 100%. We'll know after the 60th day we close out, which will be literally August 31st. But by then, I can't really do anything about last year. I mean, it is what it is. And so we thankfully do have a fund balance that we are able to balance the budget, regulatory budget. Regulatory is not the right word, but anyway, statutory budget with, but you can't continuously use, as we all know, the fund balance, your equity, or you'll use it up. But anyway.
So would this be Would it be better to do like some other counties do and have our physical year from November to October instead of splitting it up? Because then we can see what we've got in money and our millage rate and all that before we start spending.
But we've just gone through this. Is there, what do you recommend we can cut so far?
So I picked this up today and had it Tuesday, but going down through here, most of the departments went down.
Yeah.
I mean, our major increases were group insurance and the contracted services.
It is.
It's things that we can't directly control. Because, I mean, we knew that those were going to be so high. So, like, employees are not getting an increase. Like, we typically get a COLA, and it's not happening.
Okay.
We did make changes, I will say, we did make changes to insurance to try to get it down as low as we could. I mean, we changed deductibles.
Right. We increased deductibles $1,500.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I've heard.
We tried.
I mean,
but we didn't give a raise, but if you get sick this year, you gotta pay $1,500 extra out of your pocket. I mean, it's not, anyway, all right. Any other questions about that? I wish Billy was here, but anyway. All right. Let's see. Sanitation is the next one down. It's 4510. 4510, that we did find, some money. Is this the old one? Okay, we did find an error under grant expense. It says 42,000, but that's supposed to have been 4,200. So we'll be fixing that. So there's some money there that will actually help.
It's for the scrap tire grant.
Yeah,
So we
scrap
have
tire
the
grant.
corresponding revenue up top.
It was just a
And then-
keystroke error. That's what happens, you put an extra zero in there. So anyway, but anyway, that's a good find. Let's see, part-time went down. We've had a problem trying to keep somebody because we have a situation where, who wants to give up every Saturday of their life? And that's what it amounts to. We're closed the 4th of July. This year, the employee gets off the 4th of July, but I mean, typically that falls on different days. So it's just hard to find somebody to make that less amount of money, but yet deal with the stink, I don't know how else to put it, of, especially in the summer, but we'll find somebody. All right. Other than that, I don't think there's any major changes. Next year, we will have to look at contract services. Had a 3-year agreement with Republic that will be coming up, so, but we were good for the next cycle, that we'll start, but after that, we'll need to, take a look at it next year.
so what is the total budget on that one?
I've got it's currently 749,400, and we're going to 780,800.
And that was what department?
Sanitation.
Most of that increase is going to change because of that grant expense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was up 31,400, but it included.
It's actually going to go down.
About that.
So it's actually going down a little bit.
Yes.
$3,800, $38,000 decrease, whatever that.
I found the error yesterday, and I didn't want to go and change something since we'd already put it out.
Yeah, 37,800, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So actually, the budget technically went down from prior year, and that's because of that part-time, but I'll be honest with you, if we can't find anybody, we're gonna need to, we may not be able to go down, wouldn't be much. The other thing is maintenance and shop, and currently that is a budget of $205,200. Proposed to go $207,500. That's a 1.12% increase, $2,300, and I bet you it is insurance. Yep, it's group insurance. It went up $3,900. So Without that, it would have actually went down a little bit. So, all right, that's a lot of information. Sorry, y'all, but that's what, it's important that we go through this because, you know, y'all don't, again, I wish they'd been here, but, any questions? Well, any other questions from y'all? Any questions? What about the public? Does the public have any questions? Or? I see Rob. Oh, Susan. Yes, please.
While she's coming up here, so did Splosh last year pay for the year before's paving?
Yes, some of the expenses do come out of SPOSS, yes, for paving. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I just seen where last year's Splosh,
Yes.
part of it went for paving the year before, like 2024.
I would have to look at the roads paved and see what,
In 25.
yes, in 25. So
In 25, not 24, but, oh, I mean,
No,
I see what you're
this is 26. Last year was 25. Did the Splosh that was collected in 2025 pay for paving that was done in 2024?
It depends on when, and I hate to say it depends, but it depends on when we paved. If it was before July 1st, no. No, but if it was after July 1st, then probably.
I mean,
Because it's a billing issue and it's a fiscal year issue, but I mean, it
trying to
doesn't
get
matter
these
when.
dates and money in
Yeah.
my head here.
Yeah, I understand. And then it's a budgeting issue for SPLOST because we only budget so much. I mean, we can always reallocate that at any time we want to, but, and we have, we need to do that occasionally. I mean, by law, we need to do due diligence and do that. But anyway, all right. I'm sorry, Steve.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was just wondering, throughout the whole hearing here, you've been reading the department totals. What document are you reading those totals from?
The one that's online, what is
You
it called?
You added them up.
Well, he's actually added them because we don't have the totals
Yeah,
on
I
ours.
just-
He's done added
I
it.
just went and added them.
Oh, okey dokey.
Yeah, this don't look like what we had last year at all. Like,
No, no,
it's-
Oh, no, it's new and
No, it's the
everything,
same
but you
thing.
had the totals, and I'm like, do we have to add those up
No, no, no.
ourselves?
Yep, you have to add
Yeah.
them.
Each department?
Yeah.
I got a 10 key back here.
Okay, because I did
Big long
notice in
tape.
the first draft that the department breakdowns, did have the subtotals in them, so I'm like, can we do that?
Now, did that come from me asking to have the two?
Yeah, see, that's a different report.
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
wanted a comparison, so I can see if I can get that report. It's also a learning curve for me.
I totally get a
So-
learning curve here, too.
But that's a different report than the one that was
Okay.
given before.
Okay, great, well, that answers my
Yeah,
question.
but I went through
Thank
and
you.
added them all up.
That was the difference between the two, is I come back and asked, I wanted to see last year's and this year's. So they had to figure out how to get it to me.
No, I understand.
That's why we didn't have the
I
totals.
understand, I'll add them up myself.
We're getting there. If we have we keep finding new reports. If we find the right one, we'll be more than happy to put it out there.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah.
I just thought, if it's available, I want to know what it is so I can ask
Yeah.
for it. Thank you.
So back to sanitation.
Oh,
So our revenues is about 500-something thousand we're bringing in off of that, correct?
We're sending, yeah.
So we're 200,000 short. Like on
Sanitation.
transfer station.
Yep.
Let me get to it, yeah, hold up.
4,100.
4510, right? Is that what you're talking about, sanitation?
Oh, I'm
like
sorry,
the
you're
actual
right.
transfer
Yeah.
station?
Yeah, the actual
4510,
transfer
4510,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, 4510. So our revenues is,
533,700.
okay, so we're 200-something thousand short. Most counties, and I'm just trying to figure out how to offset this, this is just one thing. Most counties you go to now it's X amount for, you go across the scales and you pay $20, whatever. Is that something we as a commission need to discuss to try to maybe offset that other 200-something thousand?
I think most counties.
I mean, there's
I
a
think
charge.
We're
They
about the only
charge.
county that doesn't
Yes.
charge.
So I kind of feel like we may be getting, even on our rates that we charge per ton, I think we may be getting some drift overs because they don't want to pay their county's price because they're way
Sure.
higher than us.
You know it.
So that may be something we need to look at to maybe help help with the budget.
We need to,
Yeah, with them here, I'm just saying, like,
but yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's more of a fee.
yeah, but I think
yeah.
that I think we may be getting some drift,
We know we are.
I mean, and it's
Based off-
costing our taxpayers
I'm
in
pretty-
return
I'm pretty
to
sure we're
cover it.
getting some.
Yes.
Not saying that they're
Oh, I
not
know.
paying, I'm just saying they're coming to us because we're maybe half price of what Walker County, Catoosa County, or even Jackson and DeKalb is.
Now, we're about to change our rates effective July 1st. We do that every year
Right.
based off the contract amount. So I'm not sure if it's not a lot, but if it goes up, it may be closer to what Walker County
Is good.
charges, and therefore, by the time they travel over here with the fuel, it might not be cost effective for them to
Do it.
do that. But right now, you're right. April, May, and June's been horrible.
The last 3 times I went in there, it was
And,
bad.
and they're really covered up, yeah.
Yeah.
They're constantly moving stuff. Yeah. Any other questions?
That's it for me.
All right, any other questions? All right, hearing none, we will stand adjourned. Appreciate everybody being here today. 2.5 hours. Thank you.